come join us as we travel to Camp Helen State Park in Panama City Beach, Florida. Here you just grab an envelope, you pay $4 in cash, you put it in an envelope, and then you hang that on your rear mirror. You put the envelope in the slot, and if you don't have cash, you can use this QR code to pay online. Today we're visiting a place we've never been on the west side of Panama City Beach, which is Camp Helen State Park. Here I believe it has access to a lake and out to the beach. We're going to explore, kind of compare what it's like to St. Andrews State Park, which we love. Anything you're wanting to see what they have here?
Food and ice cream. Oh wait, different ones, yeah. Food and...
So now we're going to go check out the visitor center and see what we can learn about this park. Hello. It looks like he's getting a Christmas ornament down from the tree. And it's a baby bear.
It's a
Coyote. Be a skinny wolf. This park is part of the Access for All initiative in Florida to make parks more accessible. So now we're on our way to check out some of the trails and this little village and lots of squirrels. It says the heyday for Camp Helen was between 1945 and 1987. It was a recreation camp. I just love all the moss that's hanging from these trees. Just not something that you see in Indiana. Just look at the view. Just beautiful. It'd be a great place to get family photos done or have your wedding here. I think you just look in the windows.
Okay.
Did you look in the window? What can you see?
Containers, some painting up.
Well, this doesn't really set up like it's anything historical. We'll try the next one. This is building number 3. Just a big empty room. So I'm assuming this is where they have the horses walk through. Maybe they get some work done on their hooves here. Oh my gosh. And they have seashells for decoration here. I'm just dying. I want to sort through this shells. I mean, you can tell they're all crushed shells, but this just floors me in Florida that they use shells as landscaping rocks. And look, there's a whole shell, a whole Florida conch shell as landscaping. Like only in Florida. In Indiana, you would like pay money for something like this. Okay, so now we know it's the stable. Horses once called the stable home, but when the Hicks family sold their property, the horses and hay moved out and the Liddens moved in. Okay. There's a giant tower. And then a really large building. Haven't figured out what that building was used for yet. Dun dun dun. Sorry, no access to the tower today. Look, could you imagine having a porch like that just overlooking this view?
I'm gonna do it.
You're gonna explore it? Okay. The beauty of this place. Oh my. Breathtaking. So this is the lodge. And it is gorgeous. Eli's peeping in through the windows. Says at first it was a private home, but after the death of her husband, and the hardship of the Great Depression, she then opened the property to paying guests who stayed in the newly built Rainbow Cottages. And then the back of the lodge has this beautiful courtyard. I love the tile. It's a gorgeous area. Look at that. Camp Helen into the concrete. Now we're gonna go out to the lake. I believe this is Lake Powell. So here at Camp Helen, you have access both to this lake. You can go kayaking. I see people fishing now, but then you also have beach access to the Gulf to enjoy all of those views. Look at that. You can see some of the condo buildings there, the hotels. That's the bridge access over the river or the lake. Just gorgeous. I also want to point out that all of this is a ramp that's wheelchair accessible, help for those with the mobility issues. So it makes it equal access to everyone to be able to enjoy this beautiful park, the beautiful views. And then you see here they have all of the kayak and paddle boat rentals. And you can see the prices there for it. So now we're coming on the Rainbow Cottages. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm like having a flashback. This looks exactly to me like the buildings that the dancers lived in the movie Dirty Dancing. Like, can't you imagine Patrick Swayze just walking out of one of these little houses? All the drama that's going on in these buildings. You can't get onto the porch. Can't see too much inside, but I guess you use your imagination and how they had these set up for people to stay in. My gosh, more shelves for landscaping. You look at this. Look at this one again. Gorgeous, gorgeous. They have shelters set up here with grills so you can cook out and enjoy a picnic meal. Even the restroom sign is decorated with shells. Hey, you want to look and see what this building was?
It said it was the caretaker's house.
Okay. Also known as Cottage 7. Mr. William Arlene stayed here, and that would have been a big job for the caretaker to take care of all this property. What an amazing property to be taken care of. His house was not very big, but none of the houses here are really that large except the lodge. That is massive. So we decided to walk along one of the trails. And one of the things I was hoping that we'd see is maybe an alligator in the wild. So I guess we'll see what we can find. Are you ready to look for alligators? Yeah. You found yourself a chair to take a break. What a great spot to do that in. Here at Camp Helen State Park is 185 acres. It has uplands, wetlands, shoreline habitats, beach dunes, sand pines, scrub oaks, mesic flatwoods, tidal and depression marshes. So definitely a lot of different types of nature to experience here. One thing I just wanted to point out is if you have an electric wheelchair or scooter, they have these mats down that make this trail more accessible for you, especially if you have any type of mobility issues. This is definitely going to help. And this is really smooth to walk on. There's no bumps or ridges in it. We decided to take the trail that leads to the Gulf. Why not? This section of the dunes they have closed off. The park ranger had told us that there's several bird nesting sites, so I think they have this marked off just to protect them. And no drones are allowed in this park. So on this particular trail, the mats do come to an end. So just be aware from this point on, you would not have the flat surface for a wheelchair or scooter. And there is the end of the trail to see the Gulf. Well, that wraps up our visit to Camp Helen. I really enjoyed it. It's a small park, which is nice. You know, you could do all the trails in one day. The trails are short, easy to do. The kid is already in the car. He's ready to go. I would definitely come here again. I think I would want to pack a lunch. Be a great place to do family photos if you're vacationing here at Panama City Beach. We only did one of the trails. I think there's 4 or 5 different trails. So for my next visit, I definitely want to try the other ones. This doesn't have as much to experience as compared to St. Andrews State Park, but also, I mean, look at all the empty parking spaces here. It's not overcrowded. You have a lot of just quiet time here. It's laid back. If that's what you're looking for, you want to get away from the crowds, then Camp Helen's is definitely the place to come and check out. Plus, the entry fee was $4. I mean, that's great value there. I just enjoyed it. It was really nice. This is definitely on my list to come to again. So I encourage you, come check it out.